Joining us now is William Booth. He's a lecturer in Latin American history at the University College London, joining us live from Ipswich in the UK. A warm welcome to the programme. So what does the fact that a far-right populist politician has emerged as the biggest vote winner in the primary elections, what does it tell us?
It tells us that Argentina is now experiencing a very similar process to that which happened in the United States, in Brazil, and in Chile, although in Chile the far-right candidate didn't win, though that was a very narrow defeat. Very similar kinds of rhetoric, very similar kinds of discussion of things like so-called cultural Marxism. It's a kind of populism, certainly playing upon his outsider status, punishing both of the two existing main blocs in Argentina.
OK, more about him. We know that he's an admirer of Donald Trump. He says the country's central bank should be abolished. He believes the sale of human organs should be legal, I believe. What more do we know about him and the type of politics that he stands for?
Well, he's calls himself various things. He calls himself a minarchist, i.e. he wants an absolutely minimal state. He also calls himself an anarcho-capitalist. He has talked about getting rid of the central bank. He's talked about getting rid of the Argentine currency, which is very weak at the moment, and switching to the dollar, which would be pretty difficult given that Argentina doesn't have much in the way of dollar holdings at all. He calls himself a libertarian as well. He's a big admirer of people like Milton Friedman. I think one of his dogs is called Milton, and his other dogs are named after other right-wing economists. And he's traded in this persona as an outsider, as a critic on television, not only of the centre-left party, which has been in power a fair bit over the last couple of decades, but also of the centre-right under Macri, who were in charge before 2019.
OK, so the million-dollar question now has to be, what are his chances of winning the presidency?
Well, as we've seen from those other examples I gave you in the United States, in Brazil, and with the very close one in Chile, he has a chance. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. This was not the election, right? This was the primary, and so there's an element by which this could be a set of protest votes. It's very clear that people are angry with the two big parties, but I think what's very likely is that his bloc will get a fair number of congressional seats and Senate seats, and that will make them a powerful bloc in the years to come. So I don't know whether he will actually win or whether he'll eventually scare off some of the more centrist voters. But this is clearly a far right that's here to stay in Argentina in some form or other.
All right, we shall see, won't we? We will be watching closely. William Booth, thank you so very much indeed for your expertise. A lecturer in Latin American history at the University College London, joining us live from the UK.